I'm Jeff Hunt. He's Bill Thorpe. It's Friday. .710 KNUS in Denver.
And on AM 1430, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show, where you get both sides, and the discussion's hot on captive audience pricing that the Democrats are trying to push forward. It failed, in part because once you start to define captive audience, it explodes into lots of different aspects. Are people at the hospital a captive audience? It started with Mile High Stadium, Ball Arena going, the hot dogs are too expensive. All right, well, what about the county fairs? Are they captive audiences? Oh, okay. And then you're starting to realize just how crazy central planning is when it comes to price fixing. How do you define it? Who's in charge? All that stuff. Democrats actually voting against their own party and killing this thing at the committee level. Thank God they did. But this is all part of their worldview, that it's the government's job to step in and set the price. And phone calls hot on all this. Let's go to the phone lines. Paul in Golden. Good morning, Paul. You're on with Jeff and Bill.
Yeah, thanks for holding, Paul.
Yes, it's the government's job to step in and set the price, but with your employees, it's a 50-year-old law, I think, about. They can step in and tell you how much to pay your help. So I think that the foundational problem really isn't what you guys are talking about. It happened 50 years ago when we started minimum wage.
I mean, how do you feel about, Paul, about minimum wage? Are you saying that this has been a problem for 50 years, the government stepping in and doing this? Or do you think it's important for them to do it?
Because, like you have a guy at work who's been there 3 years, and then all of a sudden they raise the minimum wage, and then they hire a guy, and it's really not fair to the guy who's been there for 3 years, because here somebody comes in and he's making, with the new law for minimum wage, because they jack it up every 2 or 3 years. Minimum wage. I
got a question about that.
Capitalism.
Yeah. I got a question about that. The guy that's been there for 3 years, if the minimum wage is raised above what he's making, are we assuming that the guy that's been there for 3 years hasn't gotten a cost of living raise or any raise? Is he still functioning off that base wage level or not? And the reason I ask is because right now in working America, annual raises do not happen. Many times it has to be a union shop in order to get those annual raises. You do have some outliers, but the vast majority of American employees do not even get a cost of living increase. That means they're losing about 3% of purchasing power a year. If you're into that job 3 years, you're down 9%, scraping 10. So now your original paycheck buys nearly 10% less. So is that guy getting a raise or is he not getting a raise?
Oh, boy. Talk about convoluted.
I know. That's what I do, and it sucks. I'm sorry.
I really do agree. I mean, it's gotten to the point where, a quarter. My mom and I used to go through the Denver Post, and getting a quarter coupon was something else. My goodness, a quarter coupon. My mom used to spend, for 4 of us, maybe $7 or $8 for a week's groceries. And I just think that minimum wage, you just kept, it's just a devaluation of the dollar.
Yep.
And it's taking away the most important decision an employer has to make, and that's how much he pays his help.
Because guys, the ultimate minimum wage is zero. When you never hire the employee because you can't afford them anymore, the people aren't coming to your restaurant, you're seeing it in Denver. The ultimate minimum wage is zero because that's what minimum wage laws do. Paul, I appreciate the call. Thanks so much.
Paul, I appreciate it. Thanks,
We've got Jason Ganahl coming up with GQue BBQ as the fast food burger wars kick off at the CEO level. GQue BBQ has its own response to this. So we'll get to this and more. Now it's time for the news.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, TGIF, good morning. 33 with snow in Denver, 35 in the Springs. Expecting highs in the upper 40s today. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning for a new home heating and cooling system. Contact your Lennox dealer, Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at pastorcamp.com. Conditions apply. See dealers for details. Our top story: Israel has ramped up strikes that have targeted Lebanon and Tehran, while Iran has returned strikes with some targeting Tel Aviv. The president says there will be no deal struck with Iran unless it includes an unconditional surrender. He said after Iran surrenders, they would work on selecting the country's next leader. The president said they'll work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction. He concluded in the Post with, quote, "Make Iran great again," end of quote. Democrats in Illinois taking a victory lap after the firing of DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Azar's big boy Pritzker had some choice words for Noem.
Hey, Kristi Noem, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Here's your legacy: corruption and chaos.
So if you didn't hear it, he said, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson released a statement saying Noem will be remembered for her brazen corruption and reckless exploitation of vulnerable families to advance a far-right agenda. I'm sure he didn't write that himself, though. Meanwhile, the president has replaced Noem with Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin. It requires Senate approval. Congresswoman Lauren Boebert on with Jeff and Billy this morning and said it was difficult to hear about Noem being fired, even though she doesn't think a new position should be created for her or any politician with taxpayer dollars. She still has an issue with it, though.
I don't agree with letting go of Kristi Noem before Mayorkas has been held accountable. Pam Bondi is now coming before the Oversight Committee, and I am going to talk to her about just that. Mayorkas let in at least 10 million that we know of illegal aliens through our southern border, failed to have operational control, even though he has been in administrations where he has been charged with having operational control of the southern border. So I would have loved to have seen him be held accountable and even prosecuted for his actions before we took action against Kristi Noem.
Colorado Springs City Council set to consider a proposal to permanently close part of Boulder Street near Palmer High School, the oldest high school in the state. Daniel Way says accessibility, safety, and traffic are his biggest concerns.
Prioritize pedestrians over drivers in this area, especially around the school. So if that's approved, then it permanently becomes property of District 11. So it's closed. There will be no road there anymore.
District 11 officials asking the city to give up Boulder Street, saying closing the stretch between Weber Street and Nevada Avenue would improve safety for students crossing between campus buildings. I got to play this. It's Friday. Stephen A. Myth. He wrote a memoir a couple years ago, all about his life, everything, but he forgot to include some pretty amazing stories that he witnessed in his life.
I've seen a couple people get gunned down. I've seen some people get killed. I've seen somebody get shot. I remember one time one of the guys that I grew up with, I wouldn't say that he was a close friend, but we knew one another. He was joking around, arguing with this guy, and they were making jokes towards one another about each other's mother, who could tell the best jokes or whatever. And this one guy got the better of the other guy. The other guy goes up to him and shoots him in both kneecaps. Said, "I told you to stop with me," dropped the gun and walked away. That's the kind of stuff that
He forgot to put that in his memour. He continues.
I grew up seeing, one of my boys gunned down in a nightclub. Guy walked up to him, blew his head off.
No, he did not see that. He's imagining all this stuff. I'm sure they're going to make a movie about his life as he runs for president.
The nice part about it is if it happened inside of the nightclub, there's going to be an incident report.
Yeah,
let's pull it.
Exactly.
That's all we have to do. So if the Apple research out there, let's pull the incident report and let's see what happened. We can't do the your mama thing, but we can do the club thing. Pretty sure that
he may.
Yeah, I doubt
he
the
may
club
have been
owner's
in
like
a club where he heard something.
Yeah, I doubt the club owner's like, well, we're not calling the police. Somebody get him up. Don't think that's happening. Just guessing.
Oh my God! I mean, this book about his life. He just. You know what? I forgot to mention those.
Oh, no, there's more. Oh, no. What have we done?
Oh, that dude, man. Oh, God. Oh, man. All right. Well, I'm sorry. I'm
just You're great.
I've been great this week. I haven't angered anyone bringing up Erica, so I bring up Stephen A. Smith.
You and me both.
Okay.
We both have made it through the week. Let's not try to do it on Friday. Neither one of us can pull into a meeting. Let's make it a clean week for both of us. We can set the counter back to 0 on Monday. It'll be great.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, I'll wrap it up with this.
Denver
Moto
goes wire to wire for the victory over the Lakers.
120-113, the Nuggets beat the Lakers. Avalanche at the Stars tonight. They go for 4 straight. 35 in the Springs, 33 in Denver. That's the latest. I'm Blake Olson. More of the Jeff and Bill Show ahead on News Talk 710 KNUS in Denver, and now on AM 1460 and FM 101.1 The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you hear both sides. We are the Jeff and Bill Show. Have a great weekend.
We await the next storm system to affect Colorado. It's coming into Idaho and northern Utah early today. Ahead of the system, it's going to be mild. Colorado Springs, Denver, and all points in between will see temperatures well above average in the middle to upper 60s. However, towards evening, we may actually see a few showers developing, and then overnight, some areas of rain and snow showers, and winds will swing around and come in from the north. As the system approaches, a cold surge comes down the front range, so temperatures will trend colder tonight, much colder tomorrow. Tomorrow, there's a chance of snow all up and down the I-25 corridor. We're looking at about 2 to 4 inches in most areas along the lower elevations. More could fall on the north end of the Palmer Divide between Denver and Colorado Springs and in the foothills. It'll be much colder tomorrow. Highs mid-30s, lows tomorrow night, low to mid-20s. Travel concerns developing tonight and Friday. Meteorologist Don Day in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
.710 KNUS in Denver.
And on AM 1460, along with FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show where you get both sides. All right, we know about the burger war battle that was kicked off by a very dorky CEO at McDonald's.
Yeah, who I've nicknamed Captain Kale.
Very baby bite. Just baby bite.
Tiny little bite.
Which I found to be successful in the sense that it kicked off all this other stuff. You want to talk about Kristi Noem's $200 million on an ad versus some social media intern that videos the dorky CEO of McDonald's. It kicks off this huge thing where McDonald's is responding, Arby's is responding. Well, This is the very best barbecue joint in all of Colorado, GQue BBQ. I was there the day they opened their very first restaurant, and now they're in Westminster, Lone Tree, Lakewood, Thornton, Timnath, Denver, and Power Field, Folsom Field at CU Boulder, Coors Field. Best barbecue ever. And Jason Ganahl yesterday does his own video, and here it is.
Jason Ganahl, GQue BBQ.
Takes a small bite there.
That's a CEO bite.
Then he takes a really big bite.
That's a founder's bite. Our pitmasters work 14 hours on this sandwich. You better take a real bite.
You better take a real bite. So he makes a distinction between the CEO bite and the founder's bite. Right? And so little nibble, then big. I mean, half the sandwich goes into his mouth. He goes, that's a founder's bite. To join us for his commentary and analysis on the CEO burger sandwich war that's taking place across the country now, founder, owner, operator, CEO of GQue BBQ, Jason Ganahl. Good morning, Jason. Thanks for joining the Jeff and Bill Show.
Yeah, good morning, Jason.
Great to be here. Thanks for that great intro, Jeff. Good morning, Bill. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, first of all, before we start this here, Jason, I'm
in trouble.
Jeff's in trouble. I'm a little mad this morning, and here's the reason. This is between you and I, Jason. Jeff has violated a really, really important show rule here. See, we're pulling back the curtain for all the Jeff and Bill listeners and for yourself as well. I'm trying not to be too upset with this. Now, see, we got a rule here on the show. The rule is when we bring someone on and they are involved in making the food, we have to do that in the studio because then we can pressure you to bring in the food here. This is about free food for Bill and the rest of the crew and everybody else. Yeah, and here's Jeff bragging about the fact that he's gone to the place, but then he books you and refuses to enforce the rule about bringing the food into the studio. This is not on you. This is on him. But he has to wear the hat of shame and disappointment.
Bill, you're going to have to go to GQue after work to get this. But
see what he's doing? He's passing the buck. Again, he's trying to violate the rule. He wears the hat of shame this morning. But
no, Jason, I got to ask you, you decided to step into the CEO battle that's taking place. Tell us why.
Yeah, well, Bill, that's not only Jeff and Bill rule. That's on most radio shows that I go on. So I'm happy to bring in. I would love to bring in some food for you guys. I just can't do it at 9 in the morning. But the food is coming off the pit right now.
Now you're just teasing me. That's not fair. Okay, so talk to us about the video, putting it together, because that McDonald's CEO, burger product, dude doesn't know how to even pick up a burger and seems surprised by what is contained inside of his own burger product. He didn't know, missed the meetings. And then when he decides to finally bite in, I've seen toddlers that do a better job attacking a burger than that crap. Yeah, so talk to us about your video.
Yeah, I've been to birthday parties where kids make bigger bites than what Chris did in that video. But it's just a classic case. I mean, McDonald's is a massive entity. I mean, I don't think anybody saw that video and changes their opinion of what they already had from McDonald's. But, you know, in a massive organization, an international company like McDonald's, you wonder how often a guy like Chris is actually in his shops and hangs out in his shops. Because the people that are eating at McDonald's don't eat the burger that way. And that's what's piqued a lot of that interest. I saw it at first, and I thought that was interesting. And for a while, I wasn't sure if that was intentional or if that was really the way he was just trying to make the video. But at GQue, at barbecue, at most of the restaurants and shops I frequent, I don't ever see anybody eating a sandwich or burger that way. We enjoy it. We take big bites. We chew it. We savor it. It's a great experience. And the fact that he was mentioning, hey, reminding everybody he's going to have this for lunch, you could feel the awkwardness of it. But I will say he was being extremely authentic, and I think that's why it resonated with a lot of people. He wasn't being inauthentic in that that's who he is. You know, it would have been one thing if he tried to take that big bite, if he tried to be like somebody who's not, but he was being himself. But the people that are like him are not the ones eating at McDonald's on a daily basis.
Well, you get the sense he's a guy that reads spreadsheets. Right? Like, that's his job. He sits there and reads spreadsheets, whereas you jump in and you're a guy who's in the pit actually making the food. That's the difference in those two videos in my mind.
Yeah, I mean, I care. I'm a founder. I don't have shareholders. I'm not a publicly traded company. I care about guest experience. The most important thing to me for anybody that comes into our restaurant is our reputation. So if we screw something up, we're going to make it right. We don't care as much about dollars and cents, but for somebody who's held accountable to shareholders, it's about dollars and cents. So we just have two different goals. Everything he did was fine. Everything he does is great. I grew up eating McDonald's. My kids love McDonald's. It's not going to change whether or not we go to McDonald's. Heck, if he didn't make that video, I wouldn't be on the show with you guys right now talking about GQ and hopefully getting one or two new people into our restaurants. But we just have two different missions as a CEO and as a founder of a local barbecue chain.
And as people are pointing out, Jason in Denver's texting in, GQ, first of all, GQ's the best. He loves it. But then reminding us that first and foremost, McDonald's a real estate company. And that might be helpful in looking at that video going, yeah, you're looking at basically a commercial real estate guy eating a burger. Well, we're talking with Jason Ganahl, GQue BBQ. And his response. Now, Jason, I got to ask you about the response to the McDonald's CEO eating his burger, his product. You have a pretty good social media team. Now, you've got a lot on your plate. You're managing staff. You're managing food quality. You're managing locations, all that. Was it you that said, I got to respond to this? Or did your social media staff come to you and say, Jason, this thing is going viral. You got Burger King, Wendy's, everybody's jumping in. We got to get GQ's response. How did this happen?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. So we're always looking for trends. I mean, that's what's hot on social media. And I actually think we were probably about a half a day behind on that trend. And we have a group text of 4 people that are on there. We're always thinking about ideas for social media. And I'm lucky enough to have a dedicated full-time person that does our social media. So we were opening our new McGregor Square location that day, and there was a lot going on. And our social media person actually ran the Tokyo Marathon last week. So we had somebody fill in that day to shoot the video, and we shot that video in probably about a minute. So it was a little bit rushed. But we're always looking for fun trends to jump on. And if that video didn't come out, if that video didn't go viral, then we wouldn't have something to capitalize on, to jump on. But one thing we did discuss is a lot of people were just doing spoofs on him and exaggerating his video, and we didn't want to do that. We wanted to do something a little bit different. So we bounced around 3 or 4 different ideas, and that's the one we landed on.
Turns out really well.
And we thought it would take off a little bit more. I was kind of hoping it would get a little more traction. It did okay, but I mean, you always look back at your videos and see which ones did well and which ones didn't do well. You want to do more. The whole point of it is you want to get in front of more people, and you want to tell your story. You want to try to build more loyalty with the folks that are already familiar with you, or get in front of new people and try to entice them to come in and give you a shot. So I was hoping it would get a little more reach than it did, but it didn't. But hey, this show is great, and thank you for having me on and try to get a little more reach.
The Jeff and Bill show bump is coming. Just get ready, Jason Ganahl. Let's talk your restaurant. You guys are the hottest barbecue joint in Colorado, in my opinion. I've been there since the first day you opened. I can't even count on one hand now, 2, maybe. You guys are opening all over. Tell us about the growth of GQ over the past, 8 years or so you guys have been running? Give us the history.
Yeah, it was 10 years back in November. And Jeff, you've always been a big supporter and a big fan of GQ, and I appreciate that. I remember it was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. We both have big families, and one of your sons was at football practice. One of my son was at football practice, and they're on 2 different teams and practicing at 2 different times. And every now and then when I'm out in public, I see people that have a shirt on, and I kind of recognize it from far away, and I got to get a little bit closer. And I'm like, that looks like a GQ T-shirt. And I walk a little bit closer, and I'm like, oh, that's Jeff, and you're wearing one of our T-shirts just out and about in the public. So I really appreciate all the support you've always given us over the years. You've been a good ambassador of GQ, so thank you for that. But yeah, we started. It's been 10 years. It'll be 11 years in November in Westminster. That was the first location. And just every day, just working hard, trying to get a little bit better, working hard to make better food, be able to bring on better people, develop our leaders. And I got to tell you right now, I am so proud of our team. I'm so proud of our staff. I think we've got the best leaders we've ever had in our organization. I think we're training better than we ever have. I think we've been measuring guest experience from day one, In the very beginning, it was just Google and Yelp, but now we have some internal mechanisms to measure guest experience, and we're getting the highest scores we've ever gotten before. So it only took almost 11 years, but I think we're finally figuring it out, Jeff. We finally got it dialed in.
Well, what's the secret with what you guys provide? I mean, it is such good quality, and it's not cheap by any means. It's not a cheap barbecue sandwich. You're paying for quality when you go to GQ. But I noticed you guys sometimes will run out of food because the Broncos hired you and you're down providing barbecue down to the Broncos. So you guys have developed a good reputation. Tell us about the quality and why that sets you guys apart.
Well, barbecue's really hard. I mean, it takes, in that video I talked about, it took 14 hours to make the brisket that goes on that sandwich. So it's very difficult. It's definitely more of an art than anything else. You don't just push a button, lower something, and 3 minutes later, 4 minutes later, it's cooked. It takes a lot of time. So what we try to focus on more is just being consistent. It's very difficult, and people will argue, you like to have people on and debate about politics. People will debate about sports. They'll debate about religion, and they also debate about barbecue. And the thing we kind of go after more than anything else, they want to argue about what's the best bite. Well, in barbecue, you can go in and you can get the best bite, and you can go in maybe 5 times, and maybe four of those 5 times is excellent and it's the best bite, but that 5th time misses the mark. And more than anything else, we don't ever want to miss the mark. We just want to be consistently good every single time as we go out. So that's really what we try to dial in on and just be super consistent. And there's we just took our entire leadership team, Danny Meyer, who is this very well-known restaurateur. He's founder of Shake Shack and has got a lot of incredible restaurants in New York City. He was in town last week, and we took our leadership team to go see him and learn from him. And he said something during his talk that I thought was really good, and it's something we've always kind of done without knowing it. But he said, people come into your restaurant and they get the ribs, they get the brisket, they get the onion rings, they get the beans, they get the sweet tea, they get all that for free. But what they're paying you for is how you make them feel. And so that's really what we try to focus on. We try to greet the guests. We try to make them feel welcomed. We try to go over and make sure everything is right because we want to fix it. If it's not right, we want to fix it. And so we encourage people to let us know what we can improve on, what we can, if they didn't enjoy like their beans or their fries and we see they didn't eat it, we train our staff not to say, hey, did you enjoy that? Just bring them out something different. We want the guests to really enjoy their experience, and that's what we feel people are paying for us to come in, to feel appreciated. I'm a consumer too. When I go out, and it's disappointing when you go out and you spend a lot of money on something and you don't feel appreciated at all. It was very transactional, and we try to really embrace giving our guests that come in the best 20 minutes of the day.
That's Jason Ganahl with GQue BBQ. By the way, the G in Q is Ganahl. And if that name sounds familiar to many of our listeners, yes, he is the spouse to the very talented, great conservative leader of Colorado, Heidi Ganahl. They're a great couple, wonderful family, crushing it. GQue BBQ, they've got locations in Westminster, Lone Tree, Lakewood, Thornton, Timnath. You're downtown Denver at McGregor Square. You're at Empower Field. You're at Folsom Field. You're at Coors Field. You're even opening another restaurant, aren't you? How many of these are there now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Are you opening one up north, too, that I didn't read?
Fort Collins, yeah. So that's
Fort
the
Collins.
Timnath one, and that's going to open in about a month.
Okay. So is that 9 locations?
Man, Jeff, I can't keep track. You're doing a much better job than I am.
It is the best. This restaurant is going places. They have a really fun video responding to the McDonald's CEO. Go check it out. He's got a great team. And it's the best barbecue in town. It's my go-to place. I oftentimes will just hang out in the Lone Tree restaurant with folks while I'm waiting for my kids to wrap up school. And I get the sausage. That's my favorite. And then the yellow mustard sauce is great. But you had a great employee that was a friend of Bill and I's that recently passed away, and I'd be remiss if we didn't give a tip of the hat to Big Sexy and our love of him.
Big Sexy, longtime radio guy, producer of the D-Mac and Big Al show over on The Fan, and we were buddies before he started working at GQ. We would see each other at different food festivals around town, and he wanted to pick up another job, and he started working at one of our stadium locations. He enjoyed it, and then was our actual longest tenured employee at our Lone Tree store. So he is missed, but never forgotten. Yeah, he was with us for about 5 or 6 years.
Wonderful. Yeah, Big Sex is a good friend. Yeah, he and I spent some time together and it was weird that he and I both had radio experience, but we never worked in a radio shop together. We had connected through something different. And yeah, he's a huge loss, and I appreciate the time that we spent at least honoring him, because it hurts. He was a good friend. Now, okay, Jason Ganahl, GQue BBQ. I want to remind all the Jeff and Bill listeners that Jeff broke the rule. They're supposed to bring the food interviews in here to the station. and so, unfortunately, I'm going to have to ask you this question. Usually, I would be able to answer this myself, but no, we've broken the rules. So, Jason, 2 things for you before we can let you go. With GQue BBQ, okay, 2 things. 1, it's been a rough day, hard day, and you look at the clock. It's after dinner time. You got to roll home, get the family ready, etc. Okay, you got to grab something before you head out of the store. What is your go-to on those days? You have to grab something at GQue BBQ. What is Jason's personal go-to favorite?
Yeah, so I eat a lot of barbecue. I eat in our restaurant probably 3-4 times a week. So we have weekly specials that we rotate every single week. So that provides a little bit of a variety. This week we have pork belly burnt-ins. It's got a bourbon peach sauce. They're absolutely fantastic. They're our number 1 seller of all of our weekly specials. So I would probably grab those if it was this week. But my favorite permanent menu on the item, and when you go in the restaurant, you'll see it. It'll say Jason's favorite right next to it. It's the meltdown. It's that smoked brisket. It's cheese sauce. It's onion rings. It's everything that – what was the name of that sandwich in that video? That
the arch, something?
Big arch.
The big arch. Well, they should rename that to the McNibble, but yeah, the big arch. It's everything the big arch. It's everything the big arch wants to be. If you like cheeseburgers, it's a cheeseburger on steroids because you get the smoked meat that you can't get cooking meat on a griddle. It's absolutely fantastic. I love that with some of the French fries. That's my go-to meal if I had to pick something that's on the menu, and a little 5-count of the dry rub wings.
Ooh. Yeah, the dry rub's low-key is something really good because not as messy as regular wings. And if you do the spices right, those things pop. People, okay, now final question I got. Jason Ganahl, founder, owner, GQue BBQ, joining Jeff and Bill. And again, I'm going to point out, not in studio. I'm giving Jeff the stink eye right now. Okay, now, here's the deal. Someone has never been to GQue BBQ. Maybe they're not even a barbecue person. They walk into the store, they see the menu and go, what do you tell them to order? If I've never gone into GQue BBQ, what do I pull off the menu?
Couple things. First thing is, if you don't like barbecue, come in, give us a shot. There's been tons of people over the years that have said, I've never even liked barbecue. I don't even think I've had good barbecue until I have had yours. We've even had vegetarians that come in and say, well, I'm a vegetarian, but every now and then I'll come in and eat barbecue here. That screams to me that you're not really a vegetarian. It's more of a preference. But here's what I would do, Bill. I would get 3 friends, so I would find 4 people. I would come into GQue, and I would get a 1/4 pound of everything. I would get all the sides, I would get all the meat, and I would get a smorgasbord of everything on the table and have a little bit of everything, and then just figure out what you like there. But that's the pro move on that. Don't go in there by yourself. Don't commit to just 2 meats and 2 sides or 3 meats and 2 sides. Grab 3 friends, come in, get all 6 meats, and we have 8 sides, but get 6 or 7 sides and enjoy yourself. One of the best meals you're going to have. And then we have a homemade ice cream shop, too. That's right next to some of our locations, too. So get some of that salted caramel Oreo, get some of that bourbon butterscotch to wash it all down, and that will be your most glorious meal of the month. I guarantee it. And if it's not, here's what I also, shameless plug for GQue, if I can. On our website right now, if you go there should be a pop-up, www.gqbarbq.com. You're going to get a little pop-up for a free pulled pork sandwich. So the first one's on me. If you come in, if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back for whatever you paid for. You get that free pulled pork sandwich and then go from there. But that's what I would do. Grab 3 buddies and come in and have a feast.
That's Jason Ganahl right there. GQue BBQ. By the way, Heidi's favorite is the ice cream. I asked her the other day. She said I likes the ice cream the most.
Still not in the studio.
Like that in the Pilgrim.
Still no food here in the studio. I'm still mad. Super mad.
You could get pork, brisket, turkey, jalapeno cheddar sausage, pork spare ribs, chicken wings, plus all the specials, plus mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, pit smoked beans, apple coleslaw, green beans, fries, which are awesome. The cheese fries are amazing. Homemade kettle chips, onion rings, all of that at GQue locations. Westminster, Lone Tree, Lakewood, Thornton, Timnath, Denver, McGregor Square, and Power Field, Folsom Field, and Coors Field as well. He's doing it better than anybody else. GQue BBQ, Jason Ganahl, thank you for your time today.
Yes, thank you so much, and we're still mad at Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff and Bill. You guys are the best. Thanks so much for having me on. Have a great day.
You too. Have a great weekend.
All right. Let's talk Colorado Christian University. Join Colorado Christian University on March 13th at 7 p.m. for the President's Speaker Series featuring nationally known commentator, author, and legal scholar Hugh Hewitt. For decades, Hugh Hewitt has interviewed America's top leaders in politics, media, culture, and now you can hear him live. In his presentation, A Flock of Black Swans, a breakdown of American politics and modern journalism, Hewitt will offer sharp, thought-provoking insights drawn from decades at the forefront of media, law, and public discourse, exploring the unexpected forces shaping our political and cultural landscape. This in-person event tackles the big questions of our time: how Christians engage culture, speak truth with clarity, and live out conviction with grace in a divided world. This Christ-centered evening is open to students, families, and the entire community. Seating is limited. Don't miss this rare opportunity. Learn more and reserve your seat today at ccu.edu/Hugh Hewitt. That's ccu.edu/Hugh Hewitt. And I don't want to admit, but I am kind of admitting, watching Bill squirm over there as I deliciously talk about pork, brisket, turkey, and he can't eat any of it.
No.
This might be part of the plan.
I wouldn't put it past you. This is
more of the Jeff and Bill show to come. 710 KNUS in Denver.
He's chortling. Actual chortles. This is not fair. We're also on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. We'll be right back and still with no barbecue. This is the Jeff and Bill show.
710 KNUS in Denver.
And on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range, this is the Jeff and Bill Show. And boy, that snow, it is coming down.
Yeah, here's the thing. We got to share this with the Jeff and Bill audience. Here's one of the really weird, fun things about working early morning radio is you show up here in the dark and the entire parking lot is bone dry. And then by the time you leave work, you're brushing snow off the car. It's a surprise.
You know what I always liked growing up in Colorado? The exact opposite of that. Where you would drive into like high school and everyone's just freewheeling parking because you can't see the lines. And then all the snow melts in the afternoon and it's just a whole bunch of cars all over the place. No one's in between the lines.
Oh, it's awful. Now, I have a personal confession here just for a second. And I have to apologize deeply to everybody in the Jeff and Bill audience. This is hard because I think the snow's my fault. Now, just hear me out.
Did you do a snow dance?
Well, no, but I did something worse. And everyone here that has lived long-term here in Colorado
knows. You went
and
got the car washed, didn't you?
I almost did yesterday. Almost. I did something even worse. And this is degrees worth. And this is why it's totally my fault that we're doing the snow thing today. So just yesterday, again, I was looking at the car and I'm like, no, don't wash the car. Don't do that. I was thinking about it. I want to wash the car. No, that's dumb. You know it's going to snow. You know it's going to rain. Always happens. No, can't do that. So I did the smart thing. I went and I looked while I was thinking about washing the car, and I looked at the weather map and I looked at where the snow is supposed to fall. And it's supposed to miss the Denver metro just by a little bit. And that's when I cursed us. What I did is I looked over at my electric snow shovel there sitting in the garage and thought, I'm going to go an entire season and not have to use this. Well, crap. Broke that rule.
Yep.
That's going to happen today, so I am sorry. It is my fault. You can blame me for all your snow problems.
We need this, so do that more often.
But still.
Do your snow dance with Elizabeth Warren out there.
Yeah, I know. Bring it in. But the thing is, she always wants to bring the weird thing, burn the sage and things. I don't know about that. It's weird. And I'm not sure why I have to paint my body that color either. It's hard to get off.
Well, speaking of things that people do with Bill and I have joined up with Game Day Men's Health, and I want to talk to the guys out there. Look, as we get older, things change. Maybe you haven't been feeling like yourself. You're more tired, more fatigued, more stressed than you want to admit. We hear it all the time. Men are feeling that the spark of energy is fading. Lower energy means feeling like you just can't get out of second gear. Well, Game Day Men's Health has a solution for you. Their motto: helping guys be better dads, better husbands, and better men. And guys, it's not you. It's the entire generation's having their testosterone drop down. So you got to get it fixed. It'll bring back the energy. Bill, tell them more.
Yeah, I just talked to a friend of mine yesterday that said they've stopped in to the Game Day Men's Health near them, and they got their numbers checked, and they said it was almost not even there. The clinician said it was one of the lower numbers they'd ever seen, and turned around, and now on the program, they said what was wonderful is walking in. It was like visiting friends. It wasn't a large sort of assembly line process. I hung out with the clinician, got the blood test, found out the numbers in about 15 minutes, and then had a personalized plan for exactly what the numbers were saying, and it's data-driven and customized for them. And my buddy, they said the biggest thing was it was a month-to-month contract rather than that long-term contract the other places want you to sign. See, low testosterone doesn't drain your confidence. It also gives you fatigue, weight gain, loss of muscle, increases your risk for heart disease and diabetes. If you've been feeling like you just can't go anymore, you can't go to the gym, you can't get up off the couch, all you want to do is just sit there, even the idea of getting up to help out with dinner is a little too much. It's probably your hormones. Go get a free testosterone test today, just like my friend did. Even Raphael, who listens to the show and calls in sometimes, he visited the clinic in Thornton recently, and he is so happy with his results. I want you to be next. All you've got to do is visit GameDayKNUS.com. GameDayKNUS.com. Pick the clinic nearest to you. Aurora, Cherry Creek, Parker, Inglewood, Thornton. You can make the appointment right there. Your free testosterone check. Find out your numbers, and then make the choice that's best for you. Game Day Men's Health, they've got this mission statement inside their break room, not as a marketing statement, but we're telling you about it. It's their mission to help guys be better dads, better husbands, better men. Today's your day. GameDayKNUS.com. Make your appointment.
Go check them out. More of the Jeff and Bill show to come, including a 28-foot-long, 8,000-pound potato making its way through Colorado. We'll give you the details on that. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710, KNUS in Denver.
And on AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs. This is where you hear both sides and about an enormous potato. We'll be right back. This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
.710 KNUS in Denver.
And AM 1460, FM 101.1, The Answer in Colorado Springs.
All along the Front Range. This is the Jeff and Bill Show where you get both sides. Billy, a 20-foot-long, 8,000-pound potato. It's making its way through Colorado, but today's the only day you can see it.
Well, be hard to miss.
It's part of the famous Idaho Potato Tour, which has been taking place more than a dozen times. The truck aims to pass through all 50 states with its last stop in Colorado Springs, to be exact.
Ooh.
Or its latest stop. They have a whole website, but I'll give you the location. It's the Texas Roadhouse in Colorado Springs today. It's going to be down there all day. That's at 595 South 8th Street in Colorado Springs. Texas Roadhouse. Go see the 28
if any of our listeners,
foot long, 8,000
if any of our listeners at the answer go and see it, text us. We want to see pictures.
Yes, that would
we
be
want
awesome.
to see pictures of you and the giant potato. Please send them to us. We won't do anything weird with them or nothing. We just want to share that and see how big this potato is. Now, not necessarily real potato, but I didn't know there was a famous potato tour.
It is, because you've heard of the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile,
Yes,
right?
yes.
But this is on a big truck, semi-truck. It's hauling the massive spud across the country. According to a website dedicated to the endeavor, a potato of this size would take 7,000 years to grow and could be used to serve 20,217 servings of mashed potatoes, or 1 million average-sized French fries.
Okay, now if the potato people aren't going and grabbing some of the like the leaf blowers and stuff and using the mashed potato flakes like they do in movies for snow and going around and just squirting snow everywhere into, this is why I'm not allowed to do these type of promotional events, because that's the kind of stuff that I suggest. And then they say, shut up, sit in the corner. I'm just saying there's a thing here. Fake snow, middle of the park. Well, we got the real snow today, but there's an option. But I want to see if people go out and take a picture with the big giant potato. Jeff, have you ever gone to those kind of novelty things and taken the picture? What about even on the road trip? Did you stop by and see like the giant ball of yarn, or, the biggest rib that Uncle Jesse ever found off the cattle or something? Did you ever stop and see those roadside attractions?
I have never done any. Well, I did we did the largest ball of twine.
Hey, I like that I knew that one. Yeah,
and then we did Carhenge.
Oh, yeah.
Right, where they set up the cars similar to Stonehenge.
That's just funny.
I've been there for that. And then I've been on lots of tour buses, Bill, for politicians.
Ew.
There's a lot less craziness than what may be happening on a rock star tour bus.
Now, on those, do they provide you with the tomatoes, or do you have to bring your own?
It is interesting to drive around and have people give you the you're number one.
Yes, exactly.
But with a particular finger.
With another finger. Oh, God. See, I've done the Carhenge. There was one that we did this is in the state of Washington, which is kind of like and we had to plan because we had to drive out of the way for this one because, and again, people will appreciate if they understand my love of reptiles. It was a small reptile emporium. Not doesn't qualify as a zoo, but it's a large enough space that it's not somebody's home. Kind of used to be, or some sort of shop, but they've accumulated enough reptiles and spiders and creepy crawlies where they open it up and you pay a little bit of money and you walk in and you get to see them. And they've got albino crocodile and stuff like that, and it's fantastic. I just love it. It's just this roadside reptile shop. That's the kind of weird stuff I'm in favor of. I'm absolutely in favor. Problem is I couldn't buy a T-shirt. They didn't have any T-shirts. I was disappointed.
A 7,000-pound potato going on tour finally. A campaign vehicle slower than Congress getting anything else done.
That's fantastic.
How about that one?
How about
that one?
That's really good. That's fantastic.
A 7,000-pound potato went out on the road, and somewhere French fries are saying, Dad went out for milk and never came back.
Never came back. Didn't.
I'm always impressed with these. This is like classic Americana, right? Like, somebody somewhere said, you know what, Idaho, let's go promote our little thing that we produce, the Idaho potatoes, by putting a giant papier-mâché potato on the back of a truck.
Yeah.
And drive it around.
And then someone said, that's a great job, Steve. You're promoted. And then they did it. That's the other thing, is this crazy idea. I love the weird marketing and just the spawn of the idea of, I bet somebody'd pay to see this. Yeah, why not?
And then some guy had to drive it around.
Yeah.
And I bet he's full of facts on potatoes. So go down, take a picture, please. Texas Roadhouse, 595 South 8th Street in Colorado Springs. All day today.
We want to see you with the potato. It'd be fantastic.
Would be a lot of fun. All right, we had a fantastic show today. Lauren Boebert joined us in the 7 o'clock hour. Matt Soper joined us in the 8 o'clock hour. We talked to Kristi Noem heading out. What did you think of her? People giving her every rating from 10 to 1.
Yeah, it's all over
We
the place.
had all the calls, all the text messages. So if you missed any of that, go to 710knus.com to download the podcast. Jason Ganahl came on and tortured Bill, which I sure appreciated.
Yeah. Again, no barbecue. I'm holding this against you, my friend. Yeah, I'm still going to be mad about this on Monday.
You want to go to McDonald's now and eat an Archburger? And
I feel like you're discounting me. You're not even taking me to GQ. I'd say, what is this?
I think they open in a little bit later than when we typically
You hear this, listeners? Excuses. It's just excuses.
So, but it's been a great week. Thank you to everybody that joined the debates, joined the conversation. We'll be back next week. Be sure to tune in to John Caldera and Peter Boyles tomorrow. You're listening to 710 KNUS in Denver.
And The Answer in Colorado Springs. Send us those potato pictures. We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. Jeff and Bill Show.